If you had told me 20 or even 15 years ago that Samsung and LG were going to be the top TV brands in the US, I'd have probably laughed in your face. Sure, bro. Well, I know it doesn't look it, but I'm a little bit older now, a little bit wiser, and I feel like I've learned how to see the handwriting on the wall. And now I'm wondering, are TCL and Hisense the next Samsung and LG? I'm Caleb Dennison, and yes, I'm gonna get out the crystal ball, or maybe the magic 8-ball for this one, but I also wanna touch on all the other TCL TVs that aren't the amazing QM8 that TCL recently announced. Plus, I'm gonna have to draw a few comparisons between TCL and Hisense's 2023 TV lineups, as well as some comparisons to their brand strategies, all of which kind of fuels this question about whether TCL and Hisense could ultimately overthrow Samsung and LG as the top two TV brands in the US. Consider this kind of a you heard it here first video, unless of course I turn out to be wrong. And then you can just point back to this in a few years and we can all laugh at how wrong I was. Except I think I'm really onto something here. And hey, once you've heard what I have to say, let me know what you think in the comments. And please, guys, keep it kind down there. It's okay to have an opinion. It's not okay to be an a-hole, even though we all have both of them. And slap this video with a like if you like this kind of content, or slap it with a don't like if you think I need to crawl back in my geek hole and stick to reviewing tech instead of prognosticating about it. Thanks so much. Okay, let's get into it. We'll start with TCL's 2023 TV lineup overview. You already know about the QM8, right? Right? If you haven't seen that, click that link right there. You have got to see that TV. But what else has TCL got this year? Well, there's the Q7, which is not a mini LED TV, but it does have full array local dimming, quantum dots, high brightness with 1000 nits peak, and a slate of other desirable features. And the 65-inch model, for price reference, is $1,000 MSRP. Now, in case you don't recall, last year's 6 Series, the R655, was a mini LED TV, and the 65-inch version of that TV sold for $1,000. I mean, new year, new TCL, which we'll get into, but that might seem like a step back, right? TCL's $1,000 65-inch TV doesn't have mini LED anymore? What's up with that? Good question, and I'll get right back to that. The Q6 is the next step down. It does not have full array local dimming, but it maintains fairly high brightness, supports all HDR formats, has some gaming-friendly features, and is generally an enticing-looking TV for folks who don't have super demanding standards. The 65-inch version of the Q6 sells for $700. But Caleb, I can hear you out there. Caleb, wasn't the TCL 5 Series 65-incher less expensive than that, and it had local dimming? Well, no and yes. It was the same price, but the 5 Series did have local dimming. Now, below the Q Series, TCL has the S Series, which is a slate of ridiculously affordable TVs, of which TCL will no doubt sell gobs and gobs. I think TCL is in a good spot to be number 2 in the US in terms of sales in 2023, if Hisense doesn't beat them to the punch. But yeah, I understand why some folks might be thinking, the prices stayed the same, but we are getting less technology for those prices? What gives? Well, I think a few things are going on. TCL has changed its strategy a lot this year, but also inflation and economy. Parts are more expensive, shipping is more expensive, costs go up, so prices go up. But I'll get back to the strategy part in a moment. Let's take a look at Hisense for a minute. Hey, check this out. Hisense also has a 6, 7, and 8 series this year. Come to think of it, Hisense had a 6, 7, and 8 series for several years. So is TCL copying Hisense? Well, let's look at Hisense's lineup real quick. We've got the U8K, which has mini LED, at least 1500 nits peak brightness, quantum dots, does all the HDR formats, plus it has a 144 Hertz panel and an ATSC 3.0 tuner, along with a lot of other features. This TV is loaded. Unfortunately, we don't know the prices on Hisense's TVs yet, so we don't know how they will stack up against TCL's in that regard. But if peak brightness is some kind of metric for where a TV should sit in a lineup, This kind of looks like it sits between the TCL Q7 and Q8. Then there's the Hisense U6K, which is also mini LED technically. It has 200 local dimming zones and peaks at around 600 nits. It also got a native 144 Hz panel, FreeSync Premium Pro, ATSC 3.0 tuner, Wi-Fi 6. I mean, this thing is just loaded, and I don't know what it's gonna cost, but it is kind of laughing at the TCL Q6. Right, so Hisense's TV lineup is pretty aggressive this year. It doesn't really have an answer to TCL's QM8, but it does have the insane UX TV, or U10 if you want to go Roman, which I expect will be more expensive than any Hisense TV we've ever seen before, and that's if you can get one. But also, it is possible that the fact that mini LED backlights without good zone controls isn't any better than regular full array LED, and that Hisense just looks more aggressive in the backlight department on paper. We'll see. Bottom line is, I can see the shots being fired back and forth here, and that's just with the TV products themselves. Now consider you have TCL leaning hard into its NFL partnership. You're now gonna see the TCL logo all over NFL stuff, and you're gonna see NFL stars on all TCL boxes, and TCL is now going to be featured front and center at Best Buy. Hisense is partnered with the NBA and is leaning super hard into that. You're gonna see Hisense all over everything NBA, and I wouldn't put it past Hisense to put NBA players on its boxes, though they could go in the opposite direction and go super eco-friendly and put no graphics on their boxes. Regardless, it's all aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. And when we compare Sony, Samsung, and LG LED TV performance and prices, TCL and Hisense are going to undercut their competition just like they always have. It's just that the performance differences among these brands is getting tighter and tighter. Kind of reminds me of what Samsung and LG did 15 years ago. They got aggressive, they put out increasingly good TVs while keeping their prices low, and they slowly built trust with their customers. They grew, and now they're at the top. I remember when LG was just Gold Star. We had a Gold Star air conditioner, but when we shopped for TVs back then, it was Toshiba, JVC, Panasonic, and Sony. And well, two of those brands are just licensed out now. Panasonic doesn't sell TVs in the US, and Sony is all premium now, so it's content to sell quality versus quantity. I think TCL and Hisense are making the moves this year. This is where it starts. Now, TCL and Hisense do face some challenges with regard to building trust among its customers, and there could be political implications, though there haven't been so far. But barring any factors we've not seen in the past, I think TCL and Hisense are going to enjoy way more mindshare and trust in the US than they have right now, even just next year, and it's only going to grow. For now though, I cannot wait to get these TVs in. I want to test the 6, 7, and 8 from both Hisense and TCL. We're gonna see what's what this year. In the meantime, keep your eye on these brands. One thing is absolutely certain though, 2023 is going to be an insanely good year for anyone looking to upgrade their TV. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. What do you think? Am I crazy for thinking TCL and Hisense are the next Samsung and LG? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and here's 2 other videos I think you might like.